All right, guys, it is Thursday morning at 10 o'clock, and that is correct. The great Rich Gabberty is back. Coach Rich, how are you doing there, brother?
I am filled with the Holy Spirit, Tom. Good to see you, brother.
Right. I think the Holy Spirit's filled with you, actually. That's what it is. It's the other way around. You're the godlike creature.
Not me. No. Don't ease God out. That's it. I made that mistake once before. Hold on a second. We popped on the screen. We're live.
Oh, nice.
All right, there we go.
Technology.
Yeah. Technology. What a concept.
So everybody, I need to do this every week. Make sure everybody knows who Rich is. Rich and I coached many years ago with the was it Rye Mariners? Is that where
Westchester Mariners?
Westchester Mariners hockey team, great program. And everywhere I go, when I see young men or women, they talk about what a great difference you made in their lives. So I want to make sure everybody knows who you are. Oh my God! Hold on, Alicia. Good morning. How are you?
Oh God.
I hope that's the first of many messages we get from you, Alicia. Many messages.
God bless. Oh my God.
Definitely.
Here we go. We're off and running. Hello. Good morning to everybody.
So I haven't seen you since Thanksgiving then?
Thanksgiving.
Right? No, we did the show Thanksgiving. That's right.
Yeah,
yes.
we did the show Thanksgiving. And so I guess let's recap that. Thanksgiving was great. I had a great time.
So you went around to 3 different families.
No, none of that transpired really. We no.
What they called
cut that down.
Said, no, you can't.
Don't come. They said no. You know what? No offense to anybody, but I didn't want Indian food that day. I love Indian food, but long story short, I went where the turkey was.
Oh, so you just went to one home?
Yeah, and it was fine. It was great. My buddy, who's a doctor, he's actually a psychiatrist, so it's good.
Oh, okay. Alicia, as many as you want. As long as we've got 2 so far, and that's great. But I don't want to inconvenience you, but you can just send messages every minute if you'd like. Okay.
Oh God, here we go.
On a minute.
No, I'm waiting. Let me speak in proper English, and that way we'll get Bill and everybody else to chime in.
So you went to one.
Anyway, one home was fine. Thanksgiving, and then I ended up on the couch asleep, exhausted.
At their house?
No.
Oh.
Well, I did start to fall asleep at their house, and then I got in my car and I left. But and then I ended up on the couch, unconscious, and it was a great day. And it was a lot of fun.
Are you aware of not overstaying your welcome? Are you one of those guys that like?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I don't do an Irish goodbye though. I don't just get up and go. I don't like.
Well, see, I will if there's a big crowd of people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes, I'll give the Irish because then everybody's gonna say, "Oh, stay a little longer, stay a little longer."
Yeah.
If I decide it's time to go, it's time to go.
I think guys like us are just have to like we outstay our welcome. It's time to go. We know when it's time to go.
Yeah, there's a limit on it.
When you look around and there's nothing else to do, it's like,
I know.
It's time to go.
Nothing else to talk about. Yeah. And then because that once you leave that they're going to talk about you behind your back too, right? So
I mean, depending on where you go, Tom, seriously.
You don't think that's a pretty standard operating procedure for?
I don't know because here's the deal. I don't hear much of that before in front of me. In other words, if you're at a place where everybody, we talked about this, where everybody is talking about the person who's not there, well, then guess what? Who the hell are we? We're not Teflon. They're going to talk about us. And those are the kind of places I don't want to go.
Right.
Even when I go to the cigar bar down here, Vincent's, what a great bunch of guys. When you come down, we'll go there and it's a great bunch of guys and nobody's talking about anybody. It's fantastic. We're breaking each other's chops. It's like being in a locker room, right? But we're doing the right thing. I like when people break chops in front of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like it's doing it right in front of you. Even if they do it behind your back, at least you know your face, right? So
yeah, it's fun.
Definitely. Went up to was up in Taft last night.
Nice.
The Taft School. Nice. I thought they've got 2 rinks there at Taft. One's a nice new building, nice and warm and everything. And I'd been in that building before. I didn't realize I had the second one, which is ice cold. Went up there, didn't realize that I didn't dress properly, so it was a frosty couple of hours.
Oh, you in the cold rink?
Yeah. Have you been up there?
I have. Yes. Yeah. But how about Rye Country Day School?
Oh yeah. Why is it so cold?
I have no idea. That is the coldest rink though that I've ever been in. That is incredibly cold. For Christ's sakes.
Alicia, good job, Alicia. Keep coming now. I like being the last one who goes to the no one can talk about it. That's a good way of looking at it. That's a good way of looking at it, Alicia. Good.
I'm leaving early then.
But Alicia, she's brilliant too. Like not only is she a wonderful person, but she's intelligent.
Yeah. Right. Well, what am I going to tell you?
Right.
God bless her.
All
right. Let's continue with the show now, Tommy. Let's go. Sidetrack. Anyway, so you went last night, and what was it on ice?
Yeah, on ice. So the Rangers, it was just a regular practice for the program up there. I think they're called the Red Wings up there.
Oh, cool.
But so the Rangers, they're really good about it. Have us alumni guys go up to different locations and
Right. Yeah.
sign autographs and everything. Kids were really cute. They didn't know who I was, right? The kids are all like 8, 9, 10 years old.
Right. Right.
They're just all excited that a New York Ranger or former New York Ranger was up there. So it's
Well,
pretty cool.
that's the whole thing. They don't know your former, past, future. It doesn't matter. But you guys are professional. You Mullins, the times I've been on the ice with you or Mullins and a whole bunch of other ones. Oh, Adam Graves. Adam Graves. You're on the ice with Adam Graves, for Pete's sake. It's like he's the encyclopedia of positivity.
He's positive that. He's good. Yes.
Woof.
Very funny.
He's got all the sentences, the logos, everything. No matter what the kids do, it's good job. Attaboy, attagirl. Way to go. He's doing fantastic.
So probably 7 or 8 years ago, we were at an event in Long Island, and he and I knew each other, but really not that well. And we're sitting beside each other, like they had a table set up where we're signing autographs and everything. And we're sitting beside each other. And when people would come over, I would say to them, I said, I'd like to introduce you to my father. No. I would say to them, this is Adam Graves. I used to watch him when I was a kid. And he's looking at me like, what is this guy talking about? And he finally caught on to the fact that I'm told smart ass. So now he gives it to me. He calls me grandpa now. So
good. Yeah,
he's actually got a good sense of humor. Good guy.
He does. Yeah. Once you get to know him, right? Yeah.
He's a little quiet.
Yeah. He worked with my nephew Tony Zacconi, Anthony Zacconi, who works for the Rangers back.
Anthony Zacconi, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So he worked with him, and that's how I met him. He was at Anthony's wedding and everything. That he always sees me. He goes, Coach, thank you for all you're doing for the hockey community. This and that. I'm like, okay, thank you.
But he's one of those guys. When you see him at first, you're thinking, is he phony? Is he really that way? But he's not.
Right.
He's always.
Yep. Yeah, right. Exactly. It took me a couple of meetings, but he's a good guy.
He's so positive.
Whatever. Yeah, enough about Adam Graves, but God bless him.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we were talking before the show. I had a friend of mine it was a very interesting conversation yesterday, talking about the metals that come into our brain through foods and all this kind of stuff, and how it affects, causes cancer, dementia. Really interesting. And then there's products out there that help you remove, like the detox all that stuff.
I believe in all of that. I was told also that underarm deodorant. There's certain underarm deodorants that have metals in it. Yep. So there are people that feel that, whether they feel or they know or whatever, it's been proven that the wrong underarm deodorants can help contribute towards cancer. So I believe in all of that. That's why I go to the infrared sauna. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that I do. You go in that infrared sauna and I bake myself.
So you think it gets rid of the metals inside your body?
Well, they say it detoxes your body. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole. I could send you all of the science behind it, Tom. Seriously, infrared. You've never tried that, huh?
I don't think I have. No.
I'm just pointing it out to you. I'm not saying you have. When I talk to you, I never say you have to do this. Okay.
Well, that's the way I perceive it, though.
Well, that's sad, huh? You poor guy. But I have compassion for that. I have compassion for you because I'm proud to say my book, my homage to Tom Laidlaw is almost complete. It is the story of empathy and compassion. I'm so excited. You're in the foreword, but I'm talking about you. I'm not letting you talk about me. Right. Yeah.
So organic dark greens are great for removing heavy metals. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Because there's a bunch of products out there too. There's a website called Root. It's a company called Root. They make a bunch of products for all those things for focusing, get more focus. It's all homeopathic too.
Well, focus is where it's at. That's what I need. That's what, perhaps maybe you need, but I know I focus is so important. And it's not, the answer is not espresso coffee, although that does help.
Right.
They also suggest that if you're going to have coffee, don't have it first thing in the morning. Try to wait 30 minutes, because if you wait a little bit, okay, then it'll last you past that 2:00 in the afternoon when you might get a little drop in energy or whatever. It'll just get you to the 5 o'clock hour. So I've been trying that, and we'll see what happens.
Right. A lot of stuff. We were talking before too. It's kind of like there's so much stuff out there. It's like you got to pick and choose. You can't do all the things that everybody thinks is so healthy. Not that they're wrong in what they're saying. It's just There's a good question by our sleep expert. And Brendan, I was bragging about you last night too. I was talking to some fathers there, and I was saying that I believe this. I've got this buddy of mine who's a sleep expert. He's my sleep expert, and I believe him totally. It's just I don't always get the sleep that Brendan recommends that I do. But it was pretty deep discussion. So it's very complimentary to you, Brian. Okay. Do players refocus more when the backup goalie is in net, not assume Miracle saves as much? I'll give you an example. The Toronto Maple Leafs right now are out there, 3 top defensemen. And there's a lot of thought that, oh, God, this team's going to fall apart. They've actually played better defensively than they were in the past. I believe that they're high-end players like Marner, Tavares, Matthews, all those guys are now saying, like probably the coach before was saying to them, guys, you need to be better defensively. But they're saying, well, we're so talented and we're winning anyways. We won't do exactly. Not that they're bad guys and won't listen to the coach. It's just a natural thing. So now they realize these 3 top defensemen are out, and now they realize they've got to play harder defensively, and they make themselves a better team. So to answer your question, Brendan, I think that the players do play harder, realizing that maybe they don't. Like Shesterkin right now for the Rangers is not playing well. And the Rangers' record is not very good either. It's maybe more because they relied on him so much last year. Now they're realizing we need to do a better job. So, yeah. So I do think that happens. Yep.
Let me just throw this out there, Tom. So that might explain when the Chicago Blackhawks had the emergency goaltender go in, and he faced 8 shots and didn't let one in. The team supposedly picked up their defensive positioning so much more.
Yeah, it happened with Carolina a couple of years ago. They were in Toronto and they had to go to that goaltender from the stands. Yeah, and they ended up the team played fantastic. It was amazing watching it. It was
So that's interesting. Duffy is incredible. The articles that he writes are fantastic, and he's using them on that Wellness Connect site.
Remember, he's my sleep expert.
He's your sleep expert. Yeah. Well, Lero, that's a great point because he also is your tryptophan expert. Okay. So in other words, you adjust he suddenly became a turkey expert, right? You use your sleep guy for the turkey, but yet you only
the tryptophan related to sleeping, right? Because you were
spreading
the myth.
Go ahead. No, I wasn't spreading the
myth that tryptophan makes you sleep. So my sleep expert now has debunked that myth. And it's my job now to spread the word.
So then the myth that you need 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night, you seem to debunk that every night.
No, we're going to say that the 7 or 8 hours of sleep is the correct amount of sleep that you should have for optimum health. There are some cases where some people get less sleep than that and are still functional.
And they're deemed supernatural in your opinion. So 3-4 hours, you get off an airplane because you went to a hockey game and you land at Westchester County Airport after that hockey game, and you only have 2 hours of sleep, but you push through and fight and do your posting at 3.
I actually had an hour and a half of sleep that day and had a fantastic day.
See, there you go. Yeah. And Dr. Duffy, what's the story with that, Mr. Sleep Expert? Where is he? Is he still here? Did he? Yeah. Well,
he's still.
God! Here
you
we
are
go.
correct. See, Alicia's such a smart. You're correct. We have to pick and choose what work for us. We can't do all of it there. Thank you, Alicia.
There you go.
And brilliant statement. Nice.
Let me have my turmeric, ginger, and orange, and lemon, and banana.
Nice. Here we go. Brendan's got it.
Brendan's back.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
How long does adrenaline last for, though? Is adrenaline because I felt great all day long that day. I had an hour and a half of sleep, no nap or anything, and I felt great. Is adrenaline something that can last throughout the day?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. That's a good one. There are people that get shots of adrenaline when they
Alicia, just hold on a second. Have I not been cheering on Alicia all along here?
It seems to be. Go ahead. Yeah.
So now she's going to take a shot at me here. Like,
oh wow,
sleeping less is a sign of aging. Ooh. Oh my God.
Oh, you see, that's why you can't get too excited by these comments these people make, because
you wonder maybe she just doesn't realize what she just said there.
Oh no, I think she realizes. Hey, that hurt. That right? Doesn't that hurt your feelings a little bit?
Well, yeah, because
you have feelings, Tom. It's okay to admit that.
As you started this phrase. I give you the credit where it deserves. We are growing younger.
Oh yeah, we are. Absolutely, absolutely.
And to have somebody that I look up to like Alicia now debunk that and say that we're getting older.
Well, she's your Deepak Chopra meditation coach, for Christ's sakes. She's certified. Oh my God.
All right.
Anyway.
All right. Hold on. All right. Everything's fine now. Everything's fine.
There you go. You guys are fine. That's great. Hug it out. Hug it out. That's all.
I was getting
fantastic. All right. So how was your Thanksgiving? Yeah.
It was excellent. My son and his wife came over with my grandson, the little dog Maverick,
Nice.
and Cody actually came by himself. His girlfriend Val was not feeling.
She had a prearranged, not feeling well
Yeah.
a month early.
I think he told me like a month in advance.
She made a reservation. She's not feeling well.
She wasn't feeling well. So the little dog Maverick. So I'm grandpa. I literally am grandpa to the dog. He gets all excited when he sees me and pees on my foot. He's really cute.
And I tell you, he's scared. Okay, it's not. He's
He's
not excited to see you.
He's all.
You made him piss his pants.
And they don't feed him any human food, which I understand is very healthy for him. But when Grandpa's around, it's kind of like.
Yeah.
So I actually don't feed him food, but I do. If I've had my hand on the food or whatever, I do put my hand down there so he can lick the food. And he licks my face. Nobody else lets him lick his face. So he licks mine.
Yeah, there you go. He likes that. Sure, all the salt, he gets all the amino acids off of you and everything else that you're secreting.
You know what? It's amazing. Up until like about 2 years ago, I didn't know how good amino acids, how important they were for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of that stuff keeps it going. And what about the morning workout? That's another secret. Here we go.
I just have to deal with my sleep expert here.
Yeah, go
no
ahead,
treat.
please.
We have Dancing Santa. That's all we have. Dancing Santa for morning workout. So you've gotten more into the morning workouts now, right?
No, I always have. I stopped for a bit. I always, when at the pandemic, especially 2020, you couldn't go anywhere. So then I had my own gym in the house, in the basement. Anyway, but then when I came down here, they gave me the key to a gym. So I went at 5 a.m. because nobody was there. Because once people started to come in, they started to freak out that you didn't have a mask on and all this stuff. So I just avoided it by working out at 5. So it's almost like you ever do something and then you feel so good, you stop doing it maybe. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you go through those phases.
You know what I mean? You go through those phases. So I went through a phase where I stopped working out as much as I should. And then I started again to work out in the morning because I just think in the morning, physically, it's easier to do it.
Yeah.
And that way, it's so important to get that morning workout in or to get that exercise in every day that when you do it in the morning, it's done. And now whatever the day throws at you, you're going into that, whatever it's throwing at you, feeling great. So
I agree totally. I think it just helps you with the rest of the day, mentally and physically. I agree. Like for whatever reason, if I decide to take a day off,
right.
I don't like it because it doesn't ruin my day, but I don't feel like I've got the same energy.
Yeah.
Alicia, share 1 second. I need to drop everything for Alicia. The Maverick is a golden retriever, and you can follow Maverick. He's at _ Maverick 2.
Are you kidding me? That's awesome. He's got his own. What's that? Instagram?
On Instagram, yes.
That's hilarious.
So it's
Maverick _2.
Yeah, _ Maverick 2.
So they watched the Tom Cruise movie once too many times, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great.
It is. It's seriously. It's like my grandson because he's like. I feel like they got all these rules for him, and they're right to have all the rules. But I feel like it's different for Grandpa.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But anyway, so with the exercise, I think that's important. Now, what do you do for cardio?
I do the HIIT program, so that high intensity interval training. Mm-hmm. So I'm really big into kettlebells. I think
fantastic.
If I could pick one exercise that I could only do, I would do the kettlebell swings. I think it's excellent for
you. They're good.
So I'll do 30-second exercise, 1 minute rest. Do that for about 20 minutes. So that's basically 2 exercises and then take a 2-minute break and then do 2 exercises again. So that gives me 20 minutes of cardio. And if you do it, you can really control that. But I really get the heart rate going pretty good.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of the farmer carries. So they've got the gym I go to, they get the big 100-pound plates. So I find, I'm really trying to work my core a lot. I find my back is so much better when I'm working my core all the time.
Absolutely.
So I usually do like kettlebell swings and maybe good mornings. And then, farmer's carry and ball slams or something like that. So
just to change it up a little bit, so as opposed to like bicep, tricep curls, which I'll do once a week, but to rely on that all the time, it gets a little monotonous, especially after doing this for about 50 years, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know the thing, I know you do this as well. I'm always trying to learn new things too. So I've realized So I get up. So I get up early, do the 3:53 video, all
Yep.
that, and then I leave for the gym around 4:10. And I had come in, and I'd sat back down on the couch reading stuff on my iPad, what's going on in the world, the news,
Mhm.
whatever. And I found myself, okay, now I got to kind of regroup again. So I'm fired up
Right.
at 3:53. Now I get going. So instead of doing that, I go to me. I stand. I made myself a little bar that's in the kitchen. So I stand in the kitchen with my iPad, and I watch all those reels on Instagram. There's some
Yep.
real motivational stuff there to some great music, right? So when I
Yep.
leave. And I don't think I always did this. When I leave, now my brain, I feel like my brain's warmed up and my
Yeah.
mind's warmed up. And then,
Yeah.
just as I've learned, and I know we warm up our bodies. So why don't we warm up our minds the same way?
Yeah.
So it's,
Exactly. Yeah, it's important. I mean, it
yeah,
really is.
yeah,
But the fitness, it's good to. Yeah, I also sometimes watch. I go on YouTube. I go on YouTube and I watch. They have some motivational channels,
yeah,
and they put on those videos, and you hear whoever it is that's talking, and they have a video playing in the background. Yeah, so that I think is fascinating. And then I also look at guys that are exercising and doing
yeah.
different kinds of exercise or taking different kinds of supplements, and I'll read up on what they're taking and all of that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Cool.
And there's a couple of good ones. And there's actually a guy. There's actually one guy out there that's our age that seems to do some. He's all about slowing down. He's all about slowing down the lowering the weights and making more of the form. Okay.
Right.
And
Right.
not lifting on motivation. So when you start to swing stuff
Right.
at heavyweights, you start to swing. He says lower it down and don't swing as much.
I agree. I do that. Do it properly. Yeah.
Which doesn't pertain to the kettlebells, because the stuff that you're doing with the swing is there to exercise the core.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The old saying is momentum is not a muscle, right?
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I do. And I agree with that 100% physically. There's the mental part of it, though, like the kind of the spiritual part of it, that it's like, you're also there, like you're challenging yourself and you're trying to accomplish a goal, right? So
Yeah.
I agree with him totally correct. But there are some occasions, like if you're doing a military press with a barbell,
Oh yeah.
you're getting most of your reps in properly, right?
Right.
Then
Yep.
maybe you get to that heavy weight at the end there where you just give a little bit of a jump with your legs to
Yeah.
get it up.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, look, the fact that we're out, we're exercising, and we're pushing ourselves. That's what's important in my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
I
All right.
definitely like to do that
He's my sleep expert. Rich, ever listen to?
all the
hold on.
time.
Hey, Brendan, hold on. My sleep expert. Why are you asking Rich? Like, why is it? Hey, Rich or Tom? Like, what is going on here? People are turning.
Sadhguru. I am not my mind. I am not my body. I am not my mind. I am not my body. And you do that, you won't even get to 20 of those. I talked to you about this already, Tom, and you will pass out.
Right, but just saying that.
Yeah, it's weird. I've told people. I actually suggested to a couple of people that I don't even know if they like me or not, and they admitted to me that it works.
So you say 20 times, I'm not my mind. I'm not
as many times as it takes for you to go to sleep very calmly, and you do it with breath. You're breathing.
Oh.
And you're saying it inside your, in your head. I am not my mind. I am not my body. I mean, I swear to you, when I heard this guy tell me that, Sadhguru, when he said it in this video, I said, "Oh, that come on, how could that work?" And it works. So
I've heard you mention Sadhguru before. Okay, I don't think I totally understood what his name was, but I get it.
Sadhguru. He is from India. His face is just one big beard.
Right.
And he's got the long hair with a hat on, and he's
got a hat on. What?
Maybe in the morning, I don't know. But anyway, so he's a famous guy. You want to see a really good YouTube? You watch him and Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, they have a little thing together. They talk to each other in front of about 1,000 people. It's really fascinating.
Right.
Yeah, you'll like it.
I'm still a little disturbed why Brendan goes like Rich.
Well,
it's not like Rich and Tom.
I guess he kind of felt that you don't listen to Sadhguru for some reason.
But that's my personal sleep expert, Brendan Duffy.
Okay, well, you know what? He's on the Wellness Connect site. All right, he is the sleep expert for Wellness Connect.
Brought to you by Tom Laidlaw and Sugar Life.
Right. Yes. Well, listen, you're welcome to participate in anything, but I'm not inviting you anymore. It's like when you figure out that you want to do something, let me know. You're more than welcome. Okay. Anything I'm talking about and you want to do, if you decide that you invented it and you want to participate in it, we welcome you with open arms. right, Duffy?
You know, you know what was funny yesterday? This woman, this friend of mine, calling talking about the metals in the body.
Yeah.
She had gotten like this company root. She was on this one that increased your energy level.
Yep.
She normally is like fantastic person, you know, like she'll speak, I'll speak. So
Yeah.
she took some of this stuff yesterday. She talked for an hour straight.
Really? I can't wait.
She's a fantastic person.
I gotta find that then. I can't wait to have that. You know, like
Yeah. Oh gosh, she's funny. And I was talking to somebody right after that, and I was telling the story. He says that must have been really painful for you because it has to be all about you all the time when you're talking.
Yeah, but sometimes it's good. It's very hard to listen, right? This podcast has helped me because I'm trying to listen. You know,
That is very true. I learned that from the Navy SEALs when they're disciplined, right? So when they're having a conversation, they're really big at if they've asked the question, they sit there very patiently and listen to the answer. Then once the answer is completed, then they'll now interject and say what they want to say. They're really disciplined that way. And I do find, you know what I think it is too? Don't you think it's so somebody's think that what they've got to say is really important in that moment. So they want to get it out right away. So they have a hard time waiting for the other person to finish.
I think yes. I think a lot of times the person talking, okay, the person listening, pardon me, is trying to figure out what they want to say next.
Right.
And that could be for a number of reasons. Either they want to show you how smart they are, or they want to just be engaging.
Right. Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They feel like, and I'm all serious when I say about you, you're very knowledgeable about this subject now. You really studied a lot and everything. So when I'm speaking about something, I can tell that you want to interject something. So that's why I keep talking so that you can.
Well, I don't blame you. No, listen, and I have to keep my mouth shut because no. It's important. You're right. Thank you. Yeah.
I do think that, respect is a big thing, right? And listening to somebody's statement, or if you ask a question, listening to the answer is respectful. The same way, if you don't listen to it, it's not respectful or less respectful. But yeah.
Well, So I agree with you. But once again, people do that to me all the time. And a lot of times, some of the times, it's because they're just happy having a conversation.
Right.
Not a lot of people can do what we do right now and have this back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of respect, I saw a great video. A girl was sitting there talking to somebody, and obviously is prepared speech. She talked about respect between a couple, man and a woman, and talking about how love is respect and respect is love. And a guy doesn't want to see his girlfriend going up and hugging the whole basketball team or hugging the whole football team. Basically, he was saying there's certain, respecting each other. And I think it's interesting because I think sometimes people view that as like jealousy, where I would say it's accurate. It's more respect, right? It's like respecting your partner.
Okay, so I agree with you. I feel that you have to, in a relationship, communicate that stuff because people are, whether it's even you and I, let's say, in other words, if something, you have to set boundaries. How's that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We have not imaginary boundaries. We can't keep it in our head. We have to set boundaries. If you're with somebody, let's say two guys go out, we go out someplace, this and that. Meanwhile, we get there, you leave me at the bar, you go talk to a group of people, like for 45 minutes. Right. And I'm stuck there like a bump on the log. Of course, I would make friends, but you understand what I mean?
I agree totally. Yeah. Yeah. So you're right. It doesn't have to be a man and woman. It's when you're relating to other people, you have to be respectful of them.
Yeah. Right. Or let's we're at a game, we're at a Ranger game and whatever. Okay. I wouldn't break your chops as much as we are right now if we're a bunch of executives. You know what I'm saying? In other words, that wouldn't be the right time to do that. Then we want to both show that yes, we are friends. We're friends and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And if it started to become something where we're breaking chops, the group was doing it, okay, maybe we do it, but not as much as when just you and I are together. Let's say,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. So then, let's say you've done something disrespectful to me. And then I need to be able to say it to you properly, like not criticizing you, saying, listen, just, like that hurt my feelings or,
whatever.
Yeah. I guess, you know what it is? So it's
and they hurt your feelings, Tom.
No. I know. Yeah. It's like, okay, but you don't want to, I guess it's the man, like the male ego. You don't want to come across like you're whining and complaining too, right?
No, but the bottom line is that if something happens, because otherwise, listen, this is what guys do. We keep that shit inside us.
That's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah. We keep it inside us and it comes out sideways.
Right.
Like we go to the deli and we argue with somebody at the deli for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody passes up just, and think about how many times, whatever, somebody passes a stop sign, and you're maybe upset about something else that you stuffed, and now you chase the guy and tell him what the hell's wrong, whatever.
Yeah, you're right. So you get it out. So if somebody you're with,
in a nice way,
friend or girlfriend or does something and you don't like it, and you don't say anything about it, and then the same thing happens again, now you get really mad because it's happened again instead of addressing it the first time.
Yeah, I mean, look, and it's also a good way to find out. This is what you find out. You find out the person that you're in a relationship with, whatever that relationship might be. Yeah. You find out what kind of person they are. Right. Because if you say
how much they care about you and respect you too, right?
Yeah, and how much they listen. If they dismiss what I'm saying, by saying, well, what's wrong with you? Why are you so whatever? Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean that happens too.
So I had dated a girl. I dated a girl for a while. A fantastic girl. She had the habit of interrupting all the time, and I felt very calmly and everything. I sat down, and had a discussion with her, and I said, "Listen, just so you know, I think the world of you, but you interrupt all the time. Every time I have a conversation, it's really hard to have a conversation with you." And she totally dismissed that. She said, "Oh, that's ridiculous." And once she said that, that was the end of that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous is a tough one. Even if it's whether it's a guy or a girl, whoever, Yeah. But we've only learned that. Look, think about this. 20 years ago, if that happened, or 30 years ago, we would just say, "Well, F you."
Yeah. Yeah, I really felt that I know it sounds funny to say it, but I kind of matured to the point that I was willing to have a conversation about it. But then once she gave me the whole, she dismissed it. Then it was
that's the end of the story. Yeah. Then you have to respect yourself. Okay. Right. Yeah. Then you have to respect yourself enough to say, I can't be with a person that dismisses my feelings.
Yeah, like if she had said to me, I really never thought about that way. You know what? And if it bothers you that much, then I'm going to do my best to try to not do it. Like if she'd said that to me, I'd go, "Wow, that's cool." Right.
I'm not a big fan of like nonsensical talk. Like I can only talk nonsense for like.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even listening. I mean, there are people. I forgot who I was watching, but I was watching something where the guy who's a therapist was saying that women like to talk, and at times it's the guy's responsibility just to listen, nod and listen. Don't try to fix it.
Oh yeah.
But I got to tell you, I don't really need to know what's going on with your aunt, your uncle, your girlfriend. You went to get your nails done, and this and that happened. Like
But don't you think though? And listen, I'm not great at it either. But don't you think so? A woman that you're with, in some relationship with, she just wants to talk, and you're the person that she wants to talk to and vent. Yeah, it is kind of our job to listen, right? This is what I'm told anyway. So I'm not saying I'm good at that.
No, I'm not. Yeah.
So
I mean, I can't help myself. If somebody comes to me and they're venting, I'm gonna try to give suggestions.
There's a great video I'll send you. You may have seen it. You've seen the one with the woman with the nail in her forehead?
Oh, sure, but that's the guy.
We talked about this.
Yeah, yes, we did. Yeah, sure it is. Yeah, that's a great one.
Oh,
yeah.
So it was I saw it and I was dying laughing because I just see myself so the guy's sitting there. As people that haven't seen it,
explain it to people.
Yeah. I gotta get so to start off the video with this woman and the man sitting on the couch, and she's venting. She's talking about, I've got this pressure and the pain in my head and everything. They don't show her whole face, but they show the face of the guy sitting there, and he's got that look on his face, like, okay, I know I'm not supposed to talk right now. Right, I know what the problem is. Like he did a great job. And then I think then they pan. Oh, then he goes, I know what the problem is. If you got a nail in your forehead, and then they pan up to her face, and they've got this nail sticking out. She goes, You always want to do that. You just want to fix things. Yeah. So he then pretends, okay, he's just going to listen again. And then she talks about how all her sweaters are snagged in there. So,
it's great. It's good. We'll find that. We'll find that.
Yeah. I've got it.
Post it on the bottom. Now you realize that on this we could put a little banner saying follow.
Okay. In a woman's point of view, relationship, just pretend you boys are listening. Okay. But don't you think that's kind of disingenuous? It's almost like you're like, okay, I'm really not listening based on Alicia's advice, and she's a wonderful woman, so I'll take it. But so you're kind of being you're pretending you're listening, but you're really not.
I'm not good at that. So I'm not good at that. If if somebody, no matter what it is, guy, girl, whoever, if they have a problem and they
Yeah.
keep on complaining about so and so,
Right.
okay, so and so did this, so and so did that. Guess what? Talk to so and so.
Right.
Don't be. I'm not the middleman, and I'm also not a sponge. You know
But
what I'm
okay,
saying?
but let's say it's the woman you love comes to you with that statement, right? And you care about her feelings and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Right. So I guess like, and I'm not saying I'm good at this, but I'm saying so we should be, we're being told how to handle it. But here's the problem though. Sometimes they come to you want an event, your spouse,
Mhm.
and other times they really want you to help. But how do you know which one is which?
I'm just always look. You want a closet built? I'm building you a closet.
Right.
You need that whatever. You need the furniture thrown out onto the curb. I'm throwing the furniture out on
But
the
maybe
curb.
there's the trick.
And then you got a problem with your
hold on.
mom or somebody, your
Hold on,
kids.
hold on.
Fixing it.
Good point though. Maybe they really don't want the furniture thrown out, so they just want to complain about the furniture.
Well, but no, what I'm talking about is when they complain that the closet is too small. Fine, then we build a closet.
But maybe
And
they
they
don't. No. You're not getting my point though. Like you're saying, throw the furniture out
It's good
because they're complaining
exercise.
about the furniture. They're complaining about the furniture. Well, maybe they just want to complain. They really don't want the furniture thrown out.
Well, then I'm the wrong guy to tell me. Don't tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we complaining about furniture? Why are you complaining about? Really, my thought always is, why complain when you could correct?
But maybe somebody doesn't really want anything corrected. They just want to vent about something, a situation. Like it's sunny out. Well, I can't correct the sun, but
It's beautiful out. It's
but
sunny, fantastic.
Okay, but
I know. I'm the wrong guy. You're talking to yourself right now, right?
I know.
Okay,
but I'm trying to figure out how to fix us both, right? I'm trying to be no, I shouldn't say fix us. That's the wrong way to do it. Maybe make an adjustment. Make an adjustment so that we're better listeners.
You know what? We're already better listeners because we're mindful of it. We're mindful of it. Okay. So that being said, you know, if somebody is complaining about the same thing day after day after day, I don't have the ability after 2 days to suggest.
Well, don't say you don't have the ability. That's not true. You do.
I choose not to. How about this? Okay. I don't want to listen 4 days in a row, 5 days in a row. Let's say
this. The woman you're with, you're just madly in love with her, and you'll do anything for her. And she's coming to you with this problem all the time. Yeah. And you realize there's really nothing you can do but sit there and listen. You don't think you can do it.
Hasn't happened.
What's that?
Hasn't happened yet.
How many times have you been divorced?
It hasn't happened yet. Well, I stopped. Tom.
What?
I stopped listening.
Right.
There you go. Huh?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. It's an interesting subject, though, right? The whole
no. So it's yes. Well, the men and the women, or the significant other, and
right. Like the whole respect.
relationship, relationship deal, right? Yes, relationships are an interesting concept.
It keyed for me when I saw this video, and the woman said she was talking more like backing up the male side of it, that love is respect and respect is love. And she used the example of a guy doesn't want the girlfriend going out and hugging the whole basketball team. She must have been a college student or something. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was really interesting that she was more taking the side, trying to get other women to understand how men felt about the whole respect issues.
Well, I do appreciate when those kind of videos come around. I think that's important. I think that a lot of guys get the short end of the stick. But I think that, and I feel that we as men have to learn how to communicate. And we could practice with small groups of guys. It's not like we're going to go talk, in a group of 100 people and share these thoughts and ideas. But I think that comes from self-love. The more you understand yourself, the more you could understand others. I have to.
Oh, totally.
I have to get in tune with myself. That's my journey.
Bill Contradidiac needs a little bit of work. I don't know. He's having a hard time. He doesn't love himself enough, I don't think. Wait, we are getting women advice from you guys 4 divorces combined. Exactly, because we know how not to do it. We've learned. So you make mistakes and you learn from your mistakes.
Yes. So he's Bill. Thank you. You know what? Bill is with his wife and 2 kids, and I forgot what picture I saw on Facebook. He's happily married, and I'm sure there's bumps in the road. I'm sure we could learn from him. But John Gray, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Those people.
Yeah.
he got divorced a couple of times.
Right.
You know, you
Sure.
gotta fail. You gotta fail to teach others
Absolutely.
to win.
You make mistakes. There's no question. Yeah. Sorry, I missed this one, Alicia. Men are naturally fixers. Women have to understand that. As a woman, we have to realize that what to say to a man doesn't. Oh, okay, good point. So men. So Alicia's accepting the fact that we're going to act on her statements or a woman's statements. So it's a woman's responsibility not to tell us to throw out the furniture or to complain about the furniture, because we'll go ahead and throw it out.
Because that's an easy one. It's fine when the car's broken and we have to fix the car, right? When we repair the car,
right,
it's okay. Or the tire goes flat, who changes the tire? Yeah. I couldn't let a woman I was with change the tire. Right. The same way, listen, I don't care what anybody, I don't give a crap, but I'm going to open the door.
Yeah.
If I'm walking into a restaurant, I'm opening the door.
Yeah. Totally.
You know what I'm saying? It's really simple. Or and if I can, the car door, if I can get around fast enough.
That's different though. We're getting off our subject. Our subject is women venting to men, and men, or vice versa. I should say just that. Being respectful of each other and their feelings.
I will listen to people's feelings. If I can't do what they're asking, I'll let them know. Now I'll let them know. I didn't know. I wasn't always like this.
But again, though, I maybe it's just the way you phrase that. They're really not asking for anything. They're just wanting to vent.
So if they're just venting about their day or this and that, I'll listen, right? And I will say, okay, and I'll whatever. I'll be compassionate. How's that? I'll have compassion. But if you continue to vent about the same thing, right, well, then I don't want to. Then we got to do something about it.
Okay, it's the woman you love. She goes to work and she's got a boss. She's got a boss. Now I'm giving you an example. You've got a boss that's a pain in the ass. Okay. And she comes home and because she loves you so much and knows that you love her so much, she knows you're the person that she can come and talk to about it. There's really nothing you can do about it, right, but she can vent. So, and she has to go to work 5 days a week. So that's the problem. Is she wants to come home every night for 15 minutes and get it off her chest. You wouldn't just sit there and listen for 15 minutes?
I would get in the car the next morning and drive to her office.
Yeah. Okay. Now she's going to lose her job.
Well, I've never been in a relationship where that mattered.
I actually remember my father. So we had the farm. He sold the farm. He became a firefighter. Yep. And he became a chief. So he would come home. I'll never forget this. He'd come home for like 15 minutes, and he'd vent to my mother about what happened at work, and she would just sit there and listen to it.
God bless.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, I could do that. Listen, yes, I have been in relationships where there's 15 minutes worth of venting, and then
it's done.
But if it's the same kind of vent, then I would just give them input. I can't help myself. I would give them input.
Okay. So do you think that's the right way to handle it, or do you say that's just the way you are?
Well, it worked out pretty well for me in some situations, and in some situations it doesn't.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But certainly, if I was with somebody and they, in my opinion, gratuitously hugged every guy in the room that we went into, right? Well, I would, it depends. Yeah. It depends. But I'll tell you another thing, Tom. My mentality is if I'm with somebody, I'm going to give them my best. Okay. And if they choose then to go out and leave me, then go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If what I did is not good enough, well, then don't waste your time with me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a catch-22. I just don't want to be like you, I bet. I just don't want to be embarrassed in public. There's no need for that. You
don't want to be disrespected, to kind of go back to, it seems like that's our word of the day, right? Disrespect.
Yeah. Disrespect. Yeah. Exactly.
No, but I think it's a good point though, right? I mean, and you said men sometimes they'll feel that way and think, gee, should I really be feeling that way? Or should I say something? And they say, no, I'm not going to, because it makes me look like I'm weak, right? If I start complaining about it. Right.
Well, I wouldn't even complain about it. I would just say, listen, I don't appreciate when you do that.
Right.
That's not a complaint.
Okay.
Right. When we walk into a room and you hug 25 guys or whatever the hell you're doing there and all of that, I don't appreciate that. Right. What's the purpose of you doing that?
Right.
Look, we're experienced and wise enough to realize if it's a casual hello or like some lingering hug and rubbing the back and all that, you know what I mean?
I know, yeah. No, I agree.
And the other thing though is, as a result, I will try to go out of my way. If we go out a table of four couples, let's say four couples, I'm not going to embarrass the person I'm
Right.
with.
Yeah, it's a two-way
To
street.
the other people.
Right, it's a two-way
You know
street.
what I mean?
Right?
I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. I don't need to brag about what I just bought for her. You like the Jaguar we pulled up in? I bought it. You know, I don't need to do that.
I saw Steve Harvey was getting interviewed in one of those reels.
Yep.
And he made a statement that men and women cannot be friends. Like more accurately, if the man is married, he shouldn't have female friends, and vice versa. Like the woman who's married shouldn't have male friends. And he was very interested. And the woman that was interviewing was like, kind of like, really? And he went on to explain it. It was kind of like, whether it's accurate or not, he said, listen, men are made to reproduce. It's just some men have it under control. And just because like some women will say, well, I've had this guy as a friend for 20 years. He's never tried anything. And he goes, yeah, because the opportunity hasn't come up. That if an opportunity came up, he would sleep with the woman irrespective of their friendship. I thought it was interesting you said that.
Yeah. And that's a train. That's a good question. That's a train of thought. Certainly. That's a good question.
Yeah.
And I think that each, I don't know, to make a blanket statement like that, I think is tough, right. So I do have women that have been my friend for a long time. I treat them like they're my sister. Right. And opportunities have come up over the years, perhaps. Who knows?
Let me ask you a question. I guess it's what the friendship entails. Like, are you going out to dinner together as friends, or is it just your friends? You see each other on the street. Like, to me, if I'm married to a woman and she goes out to dinner with another man or lunch, I'm like, really?
Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. I don't think that I would appreciate if I was with somebody that they talk to one of their guy friends and complain about me. Or what do you guys doing this? Like
that's disrespectful right there.
Yeah. I mean that talk to your girlfriends. You could talk to your girlfriends all you want. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever, or get a therapist. But so stuff like that. I don't know. I try not to complicate relationships, and look how far that's gotten me.
No, it's because I see people sometimes, men and women, talk about how they have friends of the opposite sex. But again, like it is, what does that friendship entail? Is it just that you see each other and say, hey, how are we doing? Or is it, are you consciously making attempts to meet each other, like for lunch or dinner or whatever?
Well, that's no good. Yeah, and especially if they're doing it behind your back. None of that.
But even if they weren't doing it, they're saying, like some people are saying, they just acknowledge it because it's okay. He's just my friend. Or she's just my friend. Well,
how about this? How about the woman who says, "Oh, he's my friend, but he's gay"?
Oh, all the time.
I mean, come on.
There's not that many gays around. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
It just doesn't add up.
Oh, that's good stuff.
I know. Yeah, I did meet this woman one time, and she was telling me how she had this guy friend that had just what you're talking about, had a girlfriend, and he was constantly complaining about his girlfriend's body to this other woman.
Oh yeah.
And they would go to this woman and the friend would go to the beach together, go back to his apartment, and I'm going, I'm going to run the other way here. I think. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's just.
She's not. That's a respect thing, just a lack of understanding. It's not a jealousy thing. It's nothing else. It's a respect thing, right?
I just don't want to even get involved in that kind of stuff. I mean, on the serious side, it's that stuff is too confusing.
Yeah,
it really is. How about this? How about if they're negative? Oh, wait, hold on. We got
Dan Miller is the best-selling author and the creator of Peaceful Warrior. Oh, okay. Thank you, Alicia. Once again.
Okay, and what does that pertain to? Peaceful Warrior?
Don't be picking on Alicia.
I'm asking a question. Peaceful Warrior.
Peaceful Warrior. So he talks about the stuff that we're talking about right now.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I apologize. I should have put this one up here. I see where your confusion was. Dan Miller's great story about what you're talking about. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I read that but didn't put it up on the screen.
All right. So he wrote the book that we haven't read yet, which means these are still our thoughts.
Yes.
These are our original thoughts. We could transcribe this and make a bestseller out of it.
Definitely. I like this topic: respect and disrespect, and the different forms of it. Right.
Once again, yes, I like it too. Well, you have you have some high standards, though.
I do. Yes.
Okay. So your time now. I've become more aware of time, but you're a stickler for time. Like if we have a meeting at 10 a.m., and I show up at 10:30, well, that's disrespectful in your mind.
Yeah, the meeting's not going to happen then. Yeah.
And I agree with you. Because you know what I'm saying? But there are people that think that they're God's gift. See, I perceive it as they think they're God's gift to mankind, and they can show up at 11. And we talked about, I think, the guy who was an agent or something like that stood you up for an hour or so.
Well, a couple hours in work case.
Yeah, I wouldn't put up with that. You know, even if I think that show, you know what, if you let them get away with that, I feel they don't appreciate you then.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought was going on. See, what I think to myself is, if I allow people to disrespect me in the form of being late for a meeting or a phone call, then they think they can just do whatever they want with me.
Right.
And that then deteriorates the whole business relationship or personal relationship, whatever it is. It's letting them know that, listen, I'll be a fantastic guy. If you're my girlfriend or wife, whatever it is, I'll die for you. I'll treat you like a princess, but we're going to have respect for each other.
Right.
And that's it. And it's a two-way street. It isn't just respecting me. It's a two-way street. Yeah.
But so in business, that's a tactic. See, I never realized there's so many tactics out there when you're doing business at a high level. There's so many tactics. And one of them some guys use is they purposely come an hour late.
Yep. To try to get control of the situation, right? They want to be the one.
Yeah.
Right. They want to be the one that everybody's waiting for, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Screw that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You move on. Yeah. You move on from that. In my opinion, respect is a relative term depending on the culture, upbringing, etc. I agree with that. Yep. Everybody should have their own standards, but I also think it's kind of a learned thing as well. But I do agree with you, Alicia, but it's also learned where, like, you learn, like you just mentioned, and you start off in the business world. Some guy's late. You don't think that he's doing it on purpose. Then you learn that he is doing it on purpose.
Yeah. Well, unbeknownst to anybody, I had an accountant that the first time, pretty early on, he showed up 10 minutes late, and I had just done a men's weekend, and the men's weekend was all about accountability. And so the guy showed up 10 minutes late. I was like, hey, what time does the 10 a.m. meeting start? It starts at 10 a.m., man.
Yeah.
I said, you do that again, I'm leaving.
Yeah. The old Herb Brooks saying was, if you show up on time, you're late.
Yeah.
What he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was something else, huh?
Yeah.
And you were lucky enough to play for the guy. That must have been.
And you know what? He was about respect for the team, respect for yourself. It's interesting to have this conversation because I think I went through a period in my life where I was that respect thing. I felt like, oh, am I right in wanting that kind of respect, or is something wrong with me? Am I being too rigid? And I realized, no, that's who I am. That's what I want.
That's who you are.
And if somebody doesn't want to be in my life based on that, then listen, it's not like I'm mad at them, but it's just not going to work. Right?
But I mean, the bottom line is you want people to be on time. Okay, which is accountable, right? Accountability, right? And then you want to be respected, so you don't want somebody to disrespect you by doing whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That's a very good way of putting it. It's a respect.
Right?
It's a respect thing. Because I feel like I'm going to respect other people that way, and if I'm going to respect other people, then they should respect me that same. And again, that's the important thing. I can't expect to be respected if I'm not going to do the same thing back in return.
Well, right, it's a two-way street. It absolutely is a two-way street. Yeah. But then we have to learn how to practice forgiveness, Tom. Practice forgiveness.
Okay. Good point. So somebody has disrespected me.
Yeah.
I go and I say to them, listen, I don't know if you're aware, but I felt that was very disrespectful. But then they go do it again.
Well, okay. So time out a second. But then see, here's the deal. So you go out of your way, and it's really, you're doing it for yourself, okay? By saying you are now setting your boundaries with that person, okay? So now really it depends on how that person responds to you.
Correct. Right.
Somebody could dismiss you, which that woman did, and she's gone, right? Mm-hmm. Or the person could say, I apologize. Yeah. My kid, my this, my that, my dog got loose, and my phone was dead, and also the happy horse shit, right?
I know.
Okay. And then it happens again. This might just be a person who gets into those situations. Yep. In other words, they might be a mess.
Okay. Oh, that's a good point. So they might be a mess, but do I want to allow that into my life?
Exactly. Well, the same thing. So in a way that's a form of negativity. Do you want to let negativity into your life?
Right. Good point. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Which also goes to the next thing. What if you're doing coaching? Okay, how long do you allow somebody you're coaching to be all of those things.
To do something wrong, like to be late for practices and all that kind of stuff.
To be late for practices, to be negative, to
Right.
be disruptive, to, you know what I mean? How much of a string do you give somebody? I mean, as far as if it's coaching a sport, I bring the guy in as soon as he basically crosses the line.
Right.
Like I let my guys know the parameters.
Well, that's
And
what I was going to say. It kind of goes back to your statement before,
Yeah.
was if you don't express what your expectations are, then they don't know that. But if you've clearly expressed what your expectations are and they go against that, then that's a problem.
Yeah, that's why I like coaching so much, because coaching a sport, coaching hockey, in my case, you lay all your parameters. There's no guesswork. You give them the rules and regulations, and you talk to them at the beginning of the season,
Right.
and then you just chat with them. Then when they and you don't embarrass them in front of the whole team unless there's a purpose behind it. You bring them in and you let the guy know.
Right. So you do that with a relationship. When you meet somebody, you say, "Listen, here's my expectations."
No,
It is kind of fun. No, I know I'm taking it to an extreme. I know
no,
I'm
I
taking
hear
it to
you.
an extreme. But it is kind of the point, like maybe you don't sit down and have that one conversation, but in the process of getting to know each other, you don't let things slide but you have a conversation, like,
I think we attract like-minded people, though. I think that people can tell that we really are a certain way. I seem to, anyway. I seem to attract like-minded people, and I talk to them, wherever I might meet them, and they get the idea, like, to be on time and
see, I seem to have the opposite effect.
Really?
Although I feel like I'm very open about what my expectations are, I attract people who don't really care.
Really?
It's true. Yeah, I think it's true.
Wow.
I had a
No,
friend.
I don't understand. I can't imagine. Really?
I know. I agree with you. But I looking back at my past relationships, both business relationships, and not all of them. Again, I'm going to be careful. It's not all the time, but personal relationships with women, I find that there has been, like, a lot of my relationships end because they just. I as much as I like that example I mentioned before, was like I told the person what to be clear, she had some things that she didn't like that I was doing. And when she told me that, here's where it started. I felt like I was respectful enough of her wishes, although maybe I didn't think it was a big deal, that I would stop doing what she wanted me to stop doing. So I felt like, okay, if I'm going to do that for her, and then she totally dismisses what I feel is disrespectful, then it's over. There's nowhere to go. Right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Well, like a friend of mine, we had this conversation, and he says, "Tom, you're a target." It's like, people are attracted to you because, like, it's weird.
Well, but it depends on how. Okay, so, and I only noticed from working in the entertainment industry. Okay, you as a public figure, okay, that's a whole nother animal. Okay,
Yes.
so you're stepping out as a public figure. Okay, the guys who I worked with stepped out as public figures.
Yes.
So now you are attracting fans. Okay, people that are fans of you. They don't really know you.
Yes.
They're fans of what you did, either as a hockey player or a survivor or whatever it might be. So you're meeting them under that context. Okay. Yeah. And then if that's the only places you go to meet people, yeah, then remember what you're meeting. Okay. Yeah. And now all of a sudden they're attracted to you. They don't know you per se. And then your persona comes out, which is, would you describe it as being rigid or set in your ways, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so there are a lot of people that aren't like that in the world. They're
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. So you're exactly right. So listen, and I will never complain about my life. I've had a fantastic life, all the things. It's just that, part of what, and we talk about it as athletes, that part of what we don't realize, especially while we're playing, is that we really think that people really like us, and they may like us, but they like us for being an NHL hockey player or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I like, for example, I was at an event a couple of weeks ago at a store, and I got up and spoke, and I guess I put on a good presentation. This one woman comes over, like, "Man, you're so charismatic and charming and everything," and that really meant a lot to me. That she wasn't talking about what I did as a hockey player or how she thought I was handsome or whatever it was. She was more my personality, my character. And I realized at that moment when she said it, it's like, that doesn't happen very often. It's more about, just like you said, about who you are, what you've done. So, yeah.
But even charisma, when your charisma attracts somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, everybody wakes up a little off sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You,
No.
you know what I'm saying? Or there could be days. Well, stop. Stop. Cut the crap out. Okay.
I
You know?
go. I'm telling you, every day I wake up, I am more fired up than
No. I know. I'm sure you. So there might be somebody though. Come on, think this out here. You're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning,
3:30, 3:30.
right?
Yeah.
3:30. You're waking up. Do you wake up with an alarm?
Some days no.
Okay. So, but anyway. So, could you imagine somebody with you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What are they going to do? They got to have sleep in another bedroom.
There's no question, and this is a good point you bring up. When I look at my lifestyle that I
Right.
live, I think that if I was a woman, would I want to come remotely close to that lifestyle? No.
Yeah. So the things that are in your favor is that you are physically fit.
Yeah.
Okay. You could string words together. You actually have coherent thoughts. But these are important things that
Yes.
really we're starting to get into territory where there's not a lot of alternatives. Okay. So now all the person has to do to be with somebody who's physically fit with coherent thoughts that is going to protect them, because you're obviously a big guy. No one is going to break into the house without being stopped, more than likely. Anyway, so all of those things, like back to being with the caveman days, right? All that person has to do is at some point go in the other bedroom and go to sleep.
Well, it's true. Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? And
well, I'd even say to myself, you know what? I would just make half the bed. It's the process. It's a process of starting something at the start of the day.
I love it.
To do it properly. So if I just made half the bed properly, then
I'm sure there's a lot of people you could meet that are as that make the attempt to make the bed. I'm sure no one makes the bed as properly as you do.
At 3:30.
Other than another military person. Maybe that's what you need to do, is find a female who has graduated West Point, who has served in the military.
There you go.
That would be fun to watch. I believe me, I would love to watch that. That would be great. You two interacting, that would be fantastic.
It is funny how you say though that you attract people that are like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those are the ones I don't know what either that or somebody that or somebody that maybe I could help. I don't know. So people come to me that maybe want to, can I do that exercise? Or how do you stay fit? How do you stay fit? How do you have this energy? Why are you always smiling? Things like that.
Yeah.
Because it beats the alternative. I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
I'm grateful. I have a lot of energy because I work out. I stay active.
That does throw a lot of people off. We've talked about this before. When somebody says, well, what do you do for fun? And I go, well, I get up in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy. I'm having fun right now, right? We're having fun. Right. We have fun. I mean, look, all these podcasts you do, you're having fun doing them.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I love this conversation about respect and disrespect, because I don't think that for myself, I understood in the past whether I should be feeling disrespected or not. That was part of the battle. Like thinking like, should that really be bothering me the way it is? But it's everybody's different. If it bothers you, it bothers you. Yeah.
If it bothers you, it bothers you, Tom. Yeah. I mean, listen, you're an intelligent guy. You know what bothers you. You know in your heart.
But I didn't know, but I know now, but I didn't always understand that though. There was a period of time where I would think to myself, okay, is that really supposed to bother me? Like it bothers me? Like it's And here's the thing too that I think is for me is somebody else, one person that I don't care about is just a random person do something that's disrespectful for me, and I'll just let it. You know what? I'm not going to bother with it. But if it's somebody that's really close to me that I really care about, if they do it, then I feel more disrespected. And I think
unless it's a stop sign. I think stop sign is one of your triggers. If somebody you don't know runs a stop sign, oh my God, you become like a cop.
It's an epidemic out there. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
okay. Here's another one to vent. I'm venting. I'm venting right now. Okay. Dogs. So starting December 1st, which is today, at the beach I go to every morning by myself. Now dogs are allowed to run freely on the beach.
Oof. Because it's December or going
December
forward?
December 1st. Now the sign actually says up there that the dog is always supposed to be in a leash, but then they've got this kind of vague thing where it said below the high water line, the dogs must be under control. The people are reading it that the dog can get off the leash. So I didn't realize it was December 1st. I'm out on the beach, and this woman was randomly there. She's never there in the morning. I'm always by myself. She's got the headlights. She's picking up poop. And then I see his dog, and I'm thinking the dog must be tied up because the dog's a long way from her. And the dog comes right over. I said to the woman, I really was at that point not mad or aggravated. I just said, are they supposed to be off the leash? And she had an attitude with me, which of course then,
that didn't work out.
Nah, too good. So
What kind of dog? Big dog?
he is a big husky. Yeah.
Oh,
And the dog was very nice. I love dogs. It's just
thank
like,
God.
okay, I walk here all by myself. And again, the dog, you can tell dog lovers think that everybody's going to love dogs. So the dogs, now I'm walking back on the beach the opposite way. Now there's a whole bunch of people with their dogs, and the dogs come running over to me. So I can maintain my composure. I
Yeah.
did give him the 1,000-yard stare. I mean, there was no question. I wanted to send a point. So
Oh my God. So do you feel like they're really trespassing on your beach? Is that the,
you know what I
the
think it
thought
is?
process
It goes
now?
to our word of the day. It's a respect issue.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
you have your dog, which is fine. And if you want to have your dog off the leash, is fine. But don't disrespect me by having your dog come over and pee on my foot. I mean, my
yeah.
dog can pee on my foot.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, that brings up a point where, yes, dogs. People seem to let their dogs do anything. People seem to let their kids do anything.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
So that kind of can get
Right.
irritating. Like
Yeah.
right.
Because, yeah, like, okay, I you love your kids, I love my kids, but I'd like to think that we had them disciplined so that they would do things like that.
Yeah, my kids actually were they were disciplined, but they were just good. And yours too. They were just good kids. I mean, you know what I'm saying. But I would not let my kid, I don't know, spill chocolate milk all over a restaurant table and say, "Isn't he cute?
Yeah,
Oh my God, look how creative he is! Look, he's going to do finger painting now." Like, are you kidding me?
And then the dog thing too. So the development, there's been a few people now that have had their dogs walking around. They have the leash on, but they let the dog just walk around, not holding onto the leash.
Oh.
So the development to send out an email to everybody that the dogs must be on a leash. So somebody must have complained.
Oh, thank you. And it wasn't you. You
No.
know what? We should get you a T-shirt that says "Wasn't me." It wasn't me.
I'm
You
not
can wear that.
I'll complain. If I'm going to complain, I'm going to complain to you directly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Have the roofers come back? What's the story with
No,
that?
I haven't seen those guys.
The ladder toss, an Olympic event.
Oh God! I swear, if somebody had a video of that, I would have been dying laughing because I had that moment there where I'm looking at the ladder and I got the one guy on one shoulder, another guy on one shoulder. One guy's saying, "Throw it," and the other guy's going, "Don't do it, don't do it."
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, you're lucky you got away with that. I really try not to listen to that one guy. The bad guy. I try not to listen to him.
Oh, I know.
Mine has a name, Sid Coyote.
But the worst thing too is that once I do what he wants me to do the bad thing,
yeah,
it does kind of feel good in some way. That's the scary
does
thing.
It? Nah. Yeah. Okay.
I know.
Be careful with that. Be careful.
Well,
with
at least with the ladder, there's no damage. I didn't hurt anybody else, so it's kind of a somewhat calculated.
I will work on that.
Yeah,
we'll work on that going forward.
I'll tell you, I do think about it now. My blood pressure was going a little bit this morning because I get so I love going to the beach, the sunrise, peaceful and everything. And and again, if you want your dog, that's fine. Keep him by you. Don't have him come running over to me. I'm not.
Oh yeah. Because isn't he cute? He's cute. He doesn't bite. Don't worry, he doesn't bite.
Oh yeah. Oh, I hear that. Yeah, he hasn't bitten anybody yet.
He hasn't bitten anything. He doesn't bite. No.
Yeah,
no
dogs bite for God's sakes. Just he hasn't bitten anybody yet. Like Pepper's mother was. I tell you, there's a part where some guy working was walking over toward Pepper's house, and Pepper was off the leash, and Pepper goes to attack the man, and he goes to kick the dog, and then the mother goes, no, he barks, but he doesn't bite.
I know that lady. I mean, come on. Yeah, what do you want?
Oh God.
Keep seeing. That's where keep sense of humor. You need to keep your sense of humor there, Thomas.
Yeah, I know.
So
and that was better because I didn't say anything today. I did give him the evil stare, but yeah,
unbelievable. So that's it. That's it for our cast of characters. It's 11 o'clock.
Yes, we've gone over. Yeah, you know what? I love this discussion today. Respect. I want to keep this. This is interesting. This whole respect thing.
All right, I'm gonna write a book about it. I'm gonna send you my book on empathy. Okay, I really.
I'll get to that. I
dedicated it to you. I know you're not going to read it.
Yeah,
I'm going to post it all over social media. It's empathy and compassion.
Well, I'm all right with compassion, aren't I?
I'm not saying you aren't. It's my homage to Tom Laidlaw. Our sessions together. This is what I cooked up.
Okay.
It's going to be fun.
And compassion.
Page turner.
Yeah, empathy.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Most guys aren't empathetic. I mean, guys are sympathetic.
Empathy,
right? But empathy.
Empathy. That is when one of the things is when you meet somebody.
Yeah.
Who's having a tough time, you empathize with them. You can relate to them, or that's all. You can relate to it.
Well,
you can't say, "Oh, that would never happen to me."
Well,
maybe
no, I'm
maybe
not.
it
I'm
wouldn't.
not like that. So okay,
I'm
that's interesting. You put it that way. I'm not like that. I never say it would never happen to me.
I love
Well,
this softball, Tom. There's 66 more pages. Okay, that was just the one to draw you in. That's the one I'm drawing you in. That's my sales funnel. You're going to get the book for free, but that's my sales funnel. Okay,
all right, good deal.
you fell for it. You
All
know
right, good seeing you again, brother. We will
All right,
see
man.
you next week. Everybody, have
You
a
got
great
it.
weekend.
Have fun, everybody. Thank you. Bye bye.